I and my husband have been together for 4 years and I am starting to doubt the marriage. My husband and I have been married for 2 years in June. We have had a long history of fights and disrespect from both sides. Here is our most recent problem. About 2 months ago my husband had come home from work, and I had started complaining about I can't work full-time and take care of everything else. I work as a nurse, granted from home. I am also responsible for most of the chores. My husband is supposed to take the garbage out, clean dog poop and brush dogs a few times a week. He does garbage a couple times a week and dog poop once a week at best. I take care of dinner, groceries, laundry, animals, 6 of them, and am the primary caregiver to his daughter when she is with us, week on/week off. My husband has his own company, which we started together. Anyways, I was complaining and he was tired of it and he kicked me out of our house. I was shocked as it didn't even seem to escalate like that. He called it his house. Days go by and I end up coming home. My husband stated we both needed therapy individually so we can heal from our past traumas. I agreed and have done therapy before. I made an appointment a few days later for myself. About 6 days later we got in a fight because he was mad about my car being dirty. We had just had our 2 GSD in there, and again I am the main transport for his 7-year-old daughter as I take her to and from school. I thought it was ridiculous and we got into a fight where I was sobbing and he was reconsidering the relationship. I almost left that day too. 3 to 4 weeks after that, another fight about intimacy. I have been struggling with libido and we agreed to 3x week, which I have been doing. He tried telling me I was not fulfilling this promise, though I was. I said it's a waste of my and time then. He was appalled I said this and hung up on me. He wanted to talk about it a few days later and I told him I feel like you're mad and I am not in the right headspace. He said too bad and proceeded to tell me I ruined sex for him, and he can never have it again with me. I ended up taking accountability for what I said and apologized. He didn't do the same until much later. I then told him I was going to leave if he did not go to therapy. I had been going for at least a month at this point. Typically, I wouldn't use an ultimatum, but about a year ago he gave me one. I was in the worst mental space I had been in, and granted I had been unfair and snappy and mean to my husband. We got in a fight and he yelled at me while I was crying and said if I didn't get help he would leave. I got help that day. Well, a month later and he had not gotten therapy and then said I was trying to play victim and manipulate him. So I left. I came back after 3 days. He agreed to marriage counseling. I made the appointment. We have fought every day since I have been home. Things don't feel right. Would I be the asshole if I left? Again? 2 months later. Hi Reddit. My husband and I have been together for 4 years. Since the start he has been insecure about cheating. He was viciously cheated on in his previous relationship and blames it on that. I have never cheated on him, nor has he ever found anything to even assume I was cheating. I used to be empathetic towards his insecurities as I have been cheated on too. However, for the past 2 years I have been losing said empathy. After pulling my phone records and going through all my contacts last summer, he went to therapy for a month or 2 and his episodes of accusing me have decreased but not stopped. I have been in therapy since January and he is the one who brought up going to individual therapy for both of us. However, he has yet to get back into therapy and he continues to accuse me of cheating. We are also in couples counseling, which hasn't necessarily been overly helpful. He keeps saying that he has gotten better with accusations, so I should just be more patient with his since he is my husband. Our last fight was a few nights ago. We were being intimate, which is a struggle too since I have low libido. And he said my breast tasted like wintergreen Copenhagen and then he found/tasted a piece on me and accused me of cheating. This obviously ruined our intimacy and he kept asking for an explanation. I told him I did not have one, besides I was hiking in the forest earlier that day, and maybe had a pine needle on me. He didn't accept this answer and went to bed upset. However, he didn't bring it back up. When we discussed this in couples therapy, I acknowledged that he didn't escalate this fight and didn't bring it back up, which was an improvement from his past episodes. He still accused me in therapy and said I could have been with another man in the forest. Our therapist pointed out that this was kinda silly and suggested that if I was cheating I probably would have showered. My husband said true, but said he has learned not to trust people. I am so tired of being accused. It hurts so bad and he doesn't acknowledge the pain it causes. He also doesn't get help for the issues and has excuses as to why he hasn't done therapy yet. He is upset at me because I told him I no longer have empathy for him in this issue. Am I the asshole? 3 weeks later. Hi Reddit. Thank you all for your advice and responses. I greatly appreciate and read each one. Well, here is an update. A few nights ago he had asked where I had gone. I was confused as I had not gone anywhere. He proceeds to say my car was backed in the driveway. I don't back in unless I have groceries, and now is pulled in. I said I didn't go anywhere. He thought my answers were weird and I was acting weird. But he left it alone. Later that night I am initiating hand-holding and cuddling. It is late and I say I am going to bed and I love you. He hesitated to give me goodnight kisses, but he did it anyways. A few moments later he goes to take a shower. At 10 p.m. at night, which he hasn't done before. I assume he is taking care of business himself. During this time I say a prayer and say this feels weird. Give me a sign if this is weird. When he got out of the shower he gets back in bed and then taps me. He proceeds to say he is done and I am crushing his soul, because he says I don't initiate sex and am disrespectful, and says I am selfish. In couples therapy last week, he says he only needs sex like once a month and will take other stuff as supplemental essentially. Last week, after I uncovered I was molested in therapy, I had sex with him and gave him a handjob. He says since I've come home, I haven't tried at all to give him what he needs. I am trying my hardest, uneasy face. Let's not forget I take care of him, his kid, the animals, the house. Literally everything. He wants a gold star because he has helped me with dishes more and has helped more with transporting his child from school and now summer camp. During couples counseling today, he said the same things and then said I was using my newly found trauma as an excuse to not have sex. He also raised his voice at the therapist and said the therapist was being biased towards me and not holding me accountable. We kept going around in circles after therapy and I finally said I am done. I can't do it anymore. I am currently packing and crying a lot. I move into my apartment on Monday. Guys, I am crushed. I am so sad. I am so confused. Godspeed. Thank you everyone. For days later. Another update. I went back to the house yesterday to get my animals. He was there. He tried convincing me that 6 months from now we would both be different and could make it work. I kept telling him I am done and I'm so sorry. He didn't want to accept it but eventually did. When he accepted it, he told me I was abandoning my family and my responsibilities. He told me I gave up on them. And he left. I got my animals and we spent our first night in the apartment. I feel some peace and freedom, but I also feel some sadness and guilt for leaving. I think this will be good though. Thank you Reddit fam, your encouragement helped me stay strong and tell him no when he tried to get me back. I am trying to cope with the guilt of hurting someone I loved so much. 3 months later. Hi all. Thank you so much for the kind words and support. It has gotten me through this tough time. I am happy to say the divorce is now finalized. Here is an update on how the past 3 months have been. When I went back to the house a few months ago to get my cats, had to leave the dog sadly, and he was there. He tried saying in 6 months after therapy things would change and I'm abandoning my family and responsibilities. He proceeded to say I was selfish and was leaving for another man, after I kept telling him no. Finally, after he knew I was standing my ground, he said he would leave. He looked me in the eyes and his eyes had turned black, something I had seen a few times before, grinning face with sweat. And creepily said goodbye my name. I then called my mom crying and scared and he came back in the house and kept saying the same things. He finally left. He kept trying to contact me and my dad a lot the week after. He is of course telling everyone how awful I am, and that I'm a cheater and abandoned him and his kid. Oh well. I also forgot to mention once he pushed me up against the bathroom vanity by my neck, and then choke slammed me after I attacked him back. I always blamed myself because there was alcohol involved and he tried telling me the next morning he acted in self-defense because I attacked him first. He even took pictures of his scratches in case I called the cops. I didn't take pictures of my bruises. There were also 3 times throughout the years that he would restrain both of my wrists and not let me move if I tried to get some space during an argument. I never knew or considered this abuse and know how much worse it could have been. He recently texted me saying he saw my profile picture and accused me of being with another man days after leaving him. He said I was in another man's pickup truck, but it was literally his truck and a picture I had taken after getting my hair done for wedding pics. I sent him that same photo 2 years ago when I had taken it. Thank you all, I am doing very well. I still struggle with guilt and trusting my reality on some days, but it's better. Thank you, I am free. Commenter 1. Not the asshole. I had not read any of your posts until tonight, and I am so incredibly excited for you. He sounds. What did your dad say? I can't believe he had the nerve to try to talk to your dad after how he treated you. I am glad you walked away. Nobody deserves an emotionally stunted, paranoid, insensitive, ungrateful jackass. You got this, heart. Commenter 2. Congratulations on your new beginning. You don't owe anyone an explanation on why you left. If they believe you cheated, that says everything about them, not you. I'm really proud of you for standing your ground. Do you have all the animals now and live in the house? I hope you changed the locks if so. I don't have the words to express how truly proud I am of you. It's so hard for most people to leave a DV situation. Most people take 7 attempts to get out, and when they try and leave is also when violence escalates. You're a real hero. Commenter 3. It's fantastic to see you rising above this. Your courage to walk away from that toxic situation is commendable. You faced some seriously unsettling behavior, and anyone claiming otherwise clearly doesn't understand the hell you've been through. Don't let his lies define your reality. They're a reflection of him, not you. Keep prioritizing your well-being and trust in your strength. You're navigating this like a champ. If he's still trying to reach out, just block him out completely. Focus on building the life you deserve, one free of that kind of madness. You've got this.